11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our daily gun show. We come to you live every day at noon Eastern. That's 9 a.m. Pacific for about an hour each day. We run it live on YouTube and simulcast it over at gunchannels.com, where we're watching Jimmy's watching the live comments that are coming in from the text chat. We'll take the best ofs and post them on iTunes as a podcast. So we appreciate everybody that takes the time to watch our show now or in the future and leave us some feedback. Use the systems, the thumbs up, subscribe to the channels. All those actions help our show get recommended to more viewers, and that's one of our goals, so we appreciate it. We've got hosts, except for Bob Flakin today. So we got Jimmy in Phoenix running the show. Thanks for doing that.
Hey, yeah, good to be here.
And then I am on location in Tulsa again. We just went to the world's largest gun show. We've got Cycle Camp from Gun Channels fame and P226 from Instagram fame. And we're sitting in front of both a gun shop and a reloading prepper shop. Both the same company, but two different buildings. And yeah, we're live. So what is this, episode number 450 something probably? Or no, 440 something. We're in the 440s.
Like recap of the world's largest gun show, then, eh? Or what did you have planned for today?
I don't know what episode we're on. So we're going to be
441, yeah.
441. We're going to be screwing with the schedule a little bit since we're on the road. And yeah, we just got done at the world's largest gun show. We had a really good turnout of Gun Channels members showing up. We had a great time and hopefully a really productive time. You can see a lot of videos. We were all press, so we all had ability to take video, and people were really eager to share their interesting stuff and their new products. So stay tuned for Ghost Tactical and Clover Tac. We'll both be posting videos. I'll be posting some as well. Imagine you took some too for Instagram. You've already been posting a bunch of that.
I took a few clips or whatever. I mostly did pictures of like stuff I thought was cool.
Oh, they got some kind of class going on over there now. Bunch of law enforcement looking guys walking in.
I was busy actually selling stuff, so I didn't really get a chance to do many videos. That and I didn't have a press badge because I was the pirate out there taking illegal pictures. So.
How's the audio? We're sitting in the parking lot, obviously, next to a fairly busy road. There's a highway on the other side of the building. Can you hear everybody okay?
Yeah, you guys are coming in great. I just heard P226 not great.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I don't know where we want to take it. What was our first segment today?
Well, today is when we usually go through the whole events and all that stuff.
Oh, great. Yeah, we'll just kill that today then and talk about the show. Yeah. So Wanamaker shows, 30 years that he's run it, and it's even older than that. So it's been running since 1968. This time was 4,200 tables in a building that's 11 acres without any kind of pillars or uprights or anything. So just an open span building. It's impressive just to be in the building, let alone to see it filled with 6 foot, 8 foot tables. And, at the most, somebody had 10 tables. So that's a lot of individuals out there. It's a collectible show, a hunter show, not so much modern military, a lot of Civil War or, everything up till maybe Korea, World War II, and then very little comparatively, percentage-wise, of the rest of the stuff. But just an awesome show. Now, Cycle Camp, we've had John before as CNR. So you had an interesting way of approaching the show as a collector. P226 lives here in Tulsa, and you've been buying and selling guns, so you've been going to this show your whole life.
I'm interested in a lot of the same things too. So like that show is like, I don't know, it's pretty much everything I love all in one building. So
how long you been going there your whole life?
Yeah, like I said, I was 5 years old. So.
Right on. How has the show been over that time? How has it changed?
Basically about the same.
Really?
It's almost the same every year.
It's been at that scale all that time. That's crazy. And
it actually used to be bigger.
Yeah.
Anything we can help you out with?
No, we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, we asked the guy over at the other thing. I guess we forgot to ask you guys, but okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure everything's cool.
It is. Thanks.
Right.
Yeah, we're featuring the shop today.
All right.
Right on. Huh? Make sure we're not being weird out here, I guess. Starting a hobo fire. We're just about to roast pigeons.
That's our second security guard in Tulsa now.
Yeah, we got it roasted nowhere else in the country but in Tulsa twice. But oh well. So Yeah, so the show's been at that scale. That's impressive. Now I remember have you been to the California shows?
No.
So there was the old California shows were supposedly the best shows ever. They had a lot of imported stuff coming. Oh, in Indiana.
It's pretty big. Like, it's not. I don't think it's as big as that, but it's kind of spread out and hard to tell. That echo is brought to you by Cycle Camp.
Oh, so you're watching the comments. So where are we at? So I don't know. Do we have questions?
Scale of the show through the years, I think is where we were.
I imagine
like it actually used to fill up the entire thing and kind of spill over a little bit
outside the building.
And now it's like, yeah, they've got it to where it fits in the building, and then they have a few areas for like eating or whatever. Like there used to be nowhere to eat.
You mean like not just the concessions, but those areas where you can sit down like that.
Those used to be
the span between the upper and lower where you can kind of break. Yeah. Well, what I thought was funny is some of the tables, they had an upper and a lower level, so there was stairways going between, but there was also ramps for like vehicles, and there was literally tables on angles going up the ramp.
Yep.
And I'm like, the one guy was ammo, and I'm like, that's gonna be pretty tough to. Yeah, that last show I think he had people up the ramps. I'm like, that's gonna be pretty tough to have stuff.
Build like a plywood deck to make it even.
I was gonna say, because everything was to roll off the table otherwise.
Yeah. Like he brought out like a whole truckload of stuff just so he could be on the ramp. But he also got a lot of business being on the ramp, so I guess it was worth it for him.
Yeah, I kind of like being on the edge. We were on the edge sort of this time, and you don't get as much traffic for sure, but you get a little bit more extra room, I guess, as far as behind the table.
Yeah.
Get any comments out there?
Well, Ghost didn't get home till 3 a.m. Over to get home till 3.
Holy moly!
Yeah,
and he had to,
that's crazy.
It's been exhausting.
Driving the entire time, and then he had to leave at 7:30 to do an obligation. So, have we heard from Mr. Wright? I don't think he had to work today, so I don't know if he's sleeping in.
He
Maybe
didn't have to work today, thank God, because he probably didn't get home till about the same time, I guess.
So we had Cycle Camp come in from Connecticut, and you're flying, and then we had Ghost come in from Texas, and he drove, and his alternator busted last night. You guys put that back in for him. Then we had
Pit crew.
yeah, seriously. And then you guys get the tire, the pit crew patch.
Yeah.
And then Clover's from Texas, so he booked yesterday. Mr. Wright's also from Texas. He left. And Raphael was here with his dad and his sister, and they left on Saturday to head out. They're already in Williams, Arizona. Last night they jumped on the chat. They were in Williams, Arizona already.
That was
Yeah.
really quick.
Williams is really close to Winslow, so I mean that's all the way into middle Arizona.
3 adults, I guess they just tag team.
They're tag team driving, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
He wanted to get there as soon as possible so they have more time to sightsee because they're going to the Grand Canyon.
Every time I've ever gone to the Grand Canyon, we had like 1 or 2 adults and all kids or
Yeah.
whatever. So it was like,
Foos was there too, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Foos came from Arkansas. He had to leave Saturday as well for work.
There was the other kid. There was another kid there, a younger kid.
The new Thomas Edison,
Yeah.
the kid with the Merlin Halbert,
Yeah.
the revolver.
He's on Instagram.
I'm thinking of something else.
So Angry out there is asking, what is the coolest thing you guys for the panel that you saw, or what stuck out the most? I guess.
I think that's the kid. So we're getting the same question that we were playing around last night in the chat. What was the coolest thing at the show? 2 guys that are into milsurps and history guns, so it's going to be a different answer than Foos would say maybe. Well, actually not Foos, but maybe than Cycle Camp than Ghost or Clover.
That Delisle carbine that was set up to take 30 round grease gun mags, like some Mad Max thing that this guy just made because he loves Lee Enfields and wanted to have it, I guess.
So
Pretty awesome.
Delisle is an Enfield that they modified to be an integrally suppressed rifle. So it's a carbine length rifle with an integrally suppressed barrel. And then it normally would be converted to take 45 ACP 1911 mags. So you get 5-7 rounds of 45 suppressed out of a rifle barrel. It's super quiet. They were for taking out sentries, right?
Yeah.
And they're super rare. So people create them. And this guy, instead of just creating one, he created one that used a
It had a
grease gun mag.
And a grease gun mag.
So now you got a 30-round 45 ACP mag on a integrally suppressed carbine. Pretty cool.
Holy crap!
To me, it's weird because I saw one at the Fort Huachuca Museum has one, a real one, and it's a narrower barrel. Like this guy's suppressor is way wider, so it looks weird.
Yeah. He does in his garage because he just loves them.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of cool. So
It is. What about you?
It's a rare enough gun that you just don't see them. So.
I think the coolest display I saw was there was a guy that had an end table with a crescent of guns, and he had every gun the American military had used right up to the M1 Grand carbine. And he had a whole section. There must have been 9 or 10 1903s, and he knew the details of, well, first it was like this, and then they added a recoil log, and that's this one, and then they decided that was enough. They put a second recoil, and he had each individual rifle there.
A representation, every incarnation of its development.
So knowledgeable of the whole thing. It was really
now, this
great.
was on the lower level?
This on the lower level.
And he was on the north side of an end.
On the
and
north
then
side towards the back.
Oh, okay. So it's a different guy. I was thinking of a guy who had mostly Garands. Did you see that guy? He had like the same kind of thing, all the Garands, and he was the same way. I was waiting to ask if it was okay to take a picture, and he was explaining to the guy like, this one's complete, this one's got whatever, and he had like on his card like another just the price. He would have like the bore dimensions and the throat and everything because you want to know how the barrel is. So he had all this data, and but that was a different guy you're talking about. Then I think I missed that
There's
one. Then
another guy down there on the lower level who just does 1911s, and he's the same way. He's exactly like that 1903 guy. Like there's in that show, if you need an expert on something, you can probably find one if it's on something pre-1945.
And that's an interesting point. You go to a gun show to buy stuff, I guess, but you also go to a gun show to learn and to find out what you don't know and to consult with experts. I know I go to for bayonets all the time. I know guys I can go to if I have a question or is these really two different ones or is this just a color difference? And that's where you get that.
Pawn shop. What is this thing?
Yeah.
The Federally that I picked up, there was another guy that had them. And he was able to describe how you convert them from rimfire to centerfire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. And you were saying you drill the hole and you take the same drill that you use to drill the hole and you chop it and then that becomes your firing thing.
Chop it, round it off, and use it as a pin.
And it's that simple. And that's the kind of thing where you might think that it would work, but now you know because you've had somebody who's done it and you've got confirmation that that's.
He's actually done it. He said it's really simple. He said the hardest part is drilling a straight hole, through the hole. But if you've got somebody that's got a decent,
some sort of a fixture that holds it perfect,
There's a service that does that too. I want to pay somebody. I forget what it is, but if you Google Betterly centerfire conversion, you'll find it.
And if we're talking about modifying bolts on a rifle, that might be coming up on a future episode as well.
Yep.
I think I would buy an extra bolt first. See if I can find a use.
That's a great idea. So you can keep your existing gun perfect and then use the modified part.
I'm not real big on
That's a good idea for just collectability value.
And then if you sell it, you've got the original configuration and that you can shoot. You're just giving them benefit. You destroy the gun.
I did find somebody ammo. I did buy 4 rounds of the. I might actually try shooting one of those just for shits and grins to see if it works.
And that's another thing is that you're at a smaller scale show, you're probably not going to get the ability to get some of the craziest ammo and stuff. I guess.
There were 4 rounds in the building, and you bought all 4. I think.
Well, there were more than that in the building.
Really?
That's all I was willing to spend.
Well, Clovertac found a guy who custom makes interesting ammo, like unique ammo and stuff, and it's specifically loaded down so you can shoot a historic gun and not ruin it. So you probably get something manufactured, but you got actual vintage ammo. Well, that's true. Rimfire's tough. Well, yeah, that Buffalo place makes rimfire, I thought.
Okay,
but like short production runs, depending on how much they sold last year, they made an appropriate amount this year. So, you don't get a million people that buy these specimen guns and then want to go shoot them every day. You want to shoot it once or twice and then have some ammo with it, and you want vintage ammo. Exactly.
Yeah. Not everyone is as crazy as Cycle Camp when it comes to shooting 1800s rimfire.
All right. Well, we got a lull. Is there any other questions coming in specifically about the show? I feel like we've been talking about the show for the last 3 or 4 days. So
you can talk about it all year.
I guess we didn't mention it's a biannual show, so it'll happen again in April, and we're planning on making another Gun Channels get together.
I've been getting that question on Instagram, like, when does the show happen? I'm like, twice a year. I'm like, this happens more than once a year.
How am I going to get the rounds home? And basically, I put them in a plastic bag, wrap the bag, and tape the bag. But then I've got a steel box that all the ammo that I'm bringing home is inside the steel box.
And that's in here.
You flew here with ammo, right?
Yeah, I flew here with ammo.
Because he's got his carry gun, of course, and then he's got that in this luggage, and then he also bought a Pelican-style case, a Boyd.
Boyd, yeah.
And then it's so full of guns that he had to leave the foam on the outside. So
Nice.
That'll be. So I guess the idea is if they kill it in the airport, you would have thrown it away anyway. And if it gets all the way home, then you got your piece of foam.
And I only take it twice now.
Because they're going to want
They
to.
say it's okay. I'm going to tape the two ends down as well. I've got tape in my other bag.
I'm going to grab a cord for the computer for the phone here, and then so take it over for a second here, Jimmy.
Oh yeah, no problem. Let's see here. Go out just over some of the comments on Gun Channel side. Can we get P226 Nut to sit on Santa Camp's lap? No, Moon. It's not that kind of chat. Let's see. WVPOC. I guess I'll ask this when they're available. But P226 Nut can confirm. But I think the Grand National Show in Tulsa is top level of the expo building. So if they didn't hear that one, I'll bring it back up in a second here. Yeah, Moon was saying everyone looked like they had a lot of fun. That is a fact. Ghost said it was amazing. Angry is asking another question too. So we have two questions on the sidebar here. What is one thing you would do differently now that you've experienced the show? Let's see here. Flip over to YouTube. Smeggy said he wouldn't want to be behind cycle at the airport, but it'll take a while to get everything checked in.
All right, we're back. I just needed to plug in here so that we're not going to lose our electrics.
Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, we had a couple questions. So this one comes in. I'm trying to gotta scroll up to find. So WVPOK. I'm way but I think the Grand National Show in Tulsa is top level of the expo building.
Okay, so that broke up a little bit. What was that again?
This guy WV Poke. It says P226 Nut can confirm, but I think the Grand National Show in Tulsa is top level of the expo building.
The Grand National Show in Tulsa is just the top level of that expo?
It's just the top half, but it's been shrinking since the 90s.
And you're saying that's the one that's so small now that you can park inside the building?
Inside if you're a dealer.
Yeah.
So it used to be the whole upper level, maybe like a third, if that. It's not worth driving for, but if you're up here anyway, it's cool because you park inside.
So in other words, it's not as awesome as this one,
no.
but it's more of a regular gun show.
Your band in that building, you can do that.
That's cool.
Oh, okay. And then Angry was saying, I mean, obviously you guys have already experienced the show, but what is one thing that you would do differently now that you've experienced the show? So is there any learning lessons?
What would we do different?
I wouldn't have walked as hard the first day.
Yeah.
Okay. Paced yourself.
I would have paced myself a little differently. I got through the whole upper floor and about a half the bottom floor the first day. And when I got home, I actually had chafe marks on the sides of my legs from the tops of the boots.
Yeah.
If we could have gotten tables like close to each other, like
that would have been,
would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I kept running back and forth just to hang out with you guys.
But again, you've been going to the show your whole life, so you've got your grandpa's table. So
like by the front door.
So the way the thing works, it's like seniority. So you work your way towards the main part as people drop. Like I had a table this time. If I would have gotten the table again, I'd have that table forever. I'd claim that table. I didn't renew it. So somebody else will get it next year, and I'll be somewhere else if I can get a table. But you've got a permanent table as long as you pay for it by whatever 6 p.m. or whatever, it's yours. So yeah, that's be cooler if we were all sitting together, but that'd be tough because you can't just pick.
I like your location next to John and the food. So that was,
yeah, we actually had a pretty good. We were we had like a little concession area. We had the guys' bathroom. Around the concession area was our going out to check on the dog and take a smoke break exit that was exhibitors only, so we didn't have to wait in line or anything. And
that door is the best door in the building too.
Seriously, what I think the only thing would be better is if we were against the wall, because those wall tables have way more room behind them. And that's one of our reasons we had the table this time. Is we had so many people from gun channels that people could take their stuff, like when you're buying guns, and have a place to put them. So now you're not carrying them around or having to go back and forth to your car, waste even more effort. Let's talk about parking. Holy moly, this is an 11-acre building with 4,200 tables, you figure there's at least 2 people, probably 1 or 2 people in each table. So that's 4,200 people. That might be 3,000 more cars just for vendors. And then you've got, what, 50,000 people show up? I can't even imagine people all parked. So
Mr. Wright was parking on a horse track.
yeah, so yeah, Mr. Wright came in a little late on Saturday, and he parked. So if this is the, like the expo center, then there's a giant parking lot, then there's a hotel, then there's a parking lot, and then there's a horse racetrack. He was parked on the racetrack, so we had to literally drive him.
The actual track itself.
Yeah, like the actual track. So we ended up driving him over to his truck, and then we drag raced around the racetrack for a little while.
I couldn't believe that was unguarded. They're just like, yeah, no one's going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of old guys.
At first, I was like, "Oh, somebody's coming after us to yell at us." I'm like, "Oh no, that's just cycle, or that was Clover Tack." Yeah.
Foos is out there. He said something he would do differently is take more money and do research on what he would actually want. So did you guys do that?
Do more research before he went.
Yeah.
You guys do that, like kind of research on like old stuff? Yeah, I mean, you know pretty much what Wanamaker is going to be. So did any of you guys do that or talk to anyone that did that?
I don't go to shows like that. I don't look for specific things because then you always get discouraged if you don't find the one you want, and then you're looking for the exact one, and this one ain't quite perfect, and then somebody buys it before you can go back. I like to discover and find what I didn't know I needed or find the new thing.
I like to have a general hit list, like stuff that if I see it and it's cool, then I'll buy it. But
like a most wanted list, and if something comes across.
I had a list.
So you did have specific guns you wanted to acquire, and you were looking for the best ones.
Style of action. I wanted to get a rolling block, and I got that. And I wanted to get a 1917, and I got that. The Federally was an impulse.
What caliber was your rolling block?
It's 7mm Mauser.
Okay, that's not that hard to find. Though.
Yep. I got ammunition for that too.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than like some weird straight wall 45 caliber cartridge.
Every gun that I bought, I got ammo for.
Yeah.
Like you don't have the Foos requirement where you have to shoot it within 24 hours.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Foos has rules apparently.
It'll take longer for me to clean them up.
And speaking of that, has Foos shot his gun already?
Yeah, he might have broken his rule.
No, we're kidding because he had to work.
Yeah. That cool Brazilian Mauser for $150 that I was actually going to buy on my way back. But
so wait, you were about to buy a gun and then Foos snagged it out from under you?
Exactly.
Amazing. It's never happened. Oh wait, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be much competition on a cheap old Mauser. Apparently, I was wrong because Foos happened to be in the building. So.
Hickok was there, so the guys from Blue Book said he was walking around, but this time he didn't have the big crowd of people.
That first day, Jesus Christ could have walked right by me, and I would never have seen him.
Like you said, if he was in front of you, to said, "Get out of my way!
Get out of my way!"
Hickok, he had a hood and like those glasses with the big nose and mustache. So like I was like,
oh man, yeah, it sounds like you guys had a good time. That's awesome.
Well, why don't we just do something next, and I can take the dog to pee real quick. So take it away.
Well, how about we do since we're sitting here and we got Cycle and P226 nut there, let's we just did P226 nut. So let's focus, let's do the Gun Channel's member of the day for Cycle Camp. He's been around for quite some time now, but over a year maybe. I think he could tell me better, but had a few conversations with him, been in a couple chats with him. Definitely a great guy. Obviously one of the members that went to go to Tulsa and do the little Gun Channels meetup out there and all that. So very good guy. Let's see, what do we got in the show notes for today? Unless we got any more comments out there. Who's had to change the floor plate thing, so I think he's waiting for that. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, that's said the same thing on Gun Channel. Freelo was saying, how about some show and tell with your finds? That'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see that. Moon said, let's see, it just got another text in there, so it went down. Can you tell Santa Camp all I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth and a Glock? Probably a Gen 5, Gen 5 19. That's what I would get.
Okay, dogs peed. So it sounded like you did Cycle Camp as the member of the day.
Yeah, I did.
Let's do P226 as the second. We haven't done you as member of the day, I don't think. So you're
I thought we
technically
just did it last week
out there.
man.
Yeah.
But like you were saying yesterday, you watch most of the stuff that
I
happens.
watch
So
almost everything you guys post.
and I think that's interesting because there are quite a few people that are active and in the chats and after the chats in the comments, but not everybody.
Yeah.
And you're more an Instagram guy.
Yeah.
So there's lots of people out there. So you've been around since the beginning.
Almost everything I watch now from gun channels is like I get home at night and I turn on YouTube and there's like all these long ass videos of you guys and your crazy antics. I sit there and watch that, but like I'm never in the live chats hardly. Like that late night chat that I got in on with you. Like I'd like to do that more, but I don't know.
Well, we started doing the daily gun show here during the day.
The late night stuff kind of started to die off.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as we moved into the news time, we did get more daytime people, which are awesome, good people. But yeah, we kind of killed the nighttime stuff. So hopefully we'll get it back and we'll have 24/7 again.
Back when I was always on the chats, like we would start at like 10 o'clock at night and it would go till like 6 in the morning.
Literally, it didn't.
Crazy.
Gun Channels was dead until 9 p.m. really,
Yeah.
And then boom, it would be blasting until 4 a.m. But I was gonna say you've been around way before we even started Gun Channels. You were on like, YouTube and doing your thing.
Yeah, the first time I ever got to talk to you was like the second live chat you did or something like that. It was you, Tony, and I talking about tools.
Yeah.
So.
And then whenever I first stared running around with Haas, even he told me to go to the J.M. Davis. So I want to say thanks for that, man. That was fucking awesome.
Philo, would love to do some show and tell, but I'm getting on a plane in a couple hours, and all my stuff is locked up, padlocked, and taped up.
Yeah,
So
just imagine what might be in this box.
What's in the box?
I will be doing, like I normally do, I'll be doing a desk video and a range video on all the guns that I picked up.
Right on.
Yeah, when you and Haas were first running around, you were like, well, we're going to pass through Tulsa. Have to stop at J.M. Davis. Like, it's in the...
Seriously, exactly. It's
like
it blows your mind.
Someone's personal collection.
Exactly. And more than that, it's a personal collection that instead of just selling it for money, he talked to the state of Oklahoma. He didn't donate it. It's his. Well, it's still an entity, but he's created an agreement with the state of Oklahoma that they can have the collection as long as they make it available to the public for free forever, and that's awesome. And Oklahoma is living to it, and we were there on Friday
for like $100 for like 100 years for
100 years for $1, and it's just down the street from his hotel. When we were there with Clover and Ghost in RAF checking out the museum for all day on Friday, about 3 o'clock, a group of kids came in, a whole like bus, full of kids, and yeah, what an amazing experience, right? I was a little kid and I went to the Smithsonian, and there was like almost an entire floor of the U.S. history had the firearms, the Smithsonian's guns out, and it was every bit as big as, well, it seemed as big as the J.M. Davis, but at the time, none of them are out. They have like 6 guns out the last time I was at the Smithsonian. So those are our guns and they're not available. This is one guy who made sure that his guns would be available. Since his death, the police and other people have donated to it. So it's still growing, and it's just, it's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely unique.
Well, that like only in Oklahoma or Texas or Arizona or someplace like that are you going to have an elementary school go to the gun museum. I just think that's awesome.
Exactly. And it's not like, oh, dangerous. It's like, here's this. And
these are fascinating pieces of history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it looks like Bob jumped in. Is it jumping in because you got great news today, Bob? You don't have to go into it, but just good news or bad news?
No, it's just nothing. No news.
Well, thanks for jumping in. So we're in Tulsa. And did you happen to get to the 2A gun shop when you were in Tulsa, Bob?
No, I don't think I did.
So let's feature the gun shop. I don't know what we're doing on time, but to keep it moving, we do a gun shop every day. We started doing this daily gun show, Bob and I don't know, 400 and something episodes ago, so that we could feature a gun shop every day. And I think we might have already featured 2A Shooting Center. We were here during the long leg of the tour this year, and check that out with P226 Not One Night. But their auxiliary building over here, their auxiliary store, was closed. So they've got a range in here that's really nice, and the gun shop. And then in this other building over here, they've got their reloading stuff and then prepper stuff. And we took a bunch of pictures. They're very welcoming to taking some pictures and sharing it. So I don't have a chance to pull them up on the phone here, but we'll do that in a future show. But a cool little place. So they've got a range and a shop. And then this whole reloading, I would say it's 1,000 square feet of reloading, and then another 1,000 square feet of surplus. Now this, not surplus, but prepper. I wouldn't say the prepper stuff is like, it's not like every square inch, but it's plentiful. They've got Mountain House, they've got energy bars, they've got survival stuff. You got some water tablets, this typical stuff. Yeah.
We got your rope, we got your canteen, that sort of junk.
But the kind of stuff like you're saying that's so small that you don't want to ship it, or so huge that you don't want to ship it, you can just go over and get it.
Aquapod things, and if you ever looked at having those shipped, like it costs more than the pods to have one of them shipped.
Yeah.
So you got to buy like 40 of them if you want to like not pay ridiculous shipping for a piece of plastic.
They also had, Baba, like this, a Canadian, I guess you'd call it a scooter. It's kind of like a moped looking thing.
Cool.
The floor part, where you have no motor because it's an electric thing, is solar panels and battery. And there's solar panels on the side and on the top. And then it's just a little battery-powered scooter with rugged off-road tires. It's heavy.
It also had pedals, which I think is interesting.
Well, I guess the pedals, he said, were so that they could import it as a bicycle and not as an automobile.
Pedals, like charge the battery.
That would be actually pretty cool. But yeah, we did some video on that, so stay tuned for that. It's pretty neat. I think he said about $3,200, $33,000, something like that.
Daymac. I think they're called Daymac.
It could be. It had a big D on it. You've seen those?
Yep. Yeah, they're kind of cool.
Bob knows about big Ds.
Because he's from Canada.
Yeah. I like electric scooters. Can't help it.
Cool. Except that it was surprisingly heavy. It seemed like it was as heavy as a real bike.
It was like as light
the batteries,
as like
exactly.
Those, jump bikes and stuff like people have like the army or whatever.
The tubular frame on that was pretty significant too.
Yeah, it was not a toy.
It was not aluminum. I think it was steel.
So that's two cool Canadian things we saw this weekend.
Yeah. We didn't talk about the tiny guns. We talked about that last night, but like on the show.
Do you mean the Canadian ones or the tiny ones? So yeah, I'll count that as my interesting thing of the show. So I think Bob was around to hear us talk about this. This company, I forget the name now, out of Canada, has made. What was it?
It began with a B.
That's Burke Gallery Guns.
Burke. Yeah. And so they made a miniature replica, but instead of just being a toy or an interesting piece, it shoots BBs, like regular inexpensive BBs, but it uses shotgun primers as the propulsion. So it's not a BB gun, and it's not a firearm, and it's able to be imported, sent right to your house.
And the guns themselves were inexpensive. I thought they were like
$500, $600,
which for a miniature gun is crazy.
Just for a little bit cheaper.
About $100 off.
Yeah.
But even if you got like a salesman sample, like mini Remington or something, it's neat, but it can't do nothing.
Right.
And it's going to cost way more than that. It's going to cost $1,000. Where this is affordable, and nothing cast. It's all machined, just super really high quality.
Like
the action parts work. It was really cool.
And it was small, but it was big enough that you could still fit a finger in a trigger guard. It wasn't so tiny. So, and it's scaled to the BBs basically. The shotgun barrels were a little goofy, but
500 feet per second. BBs come out.
a little louder than a BB gun, but not hearing unsafe. So that was my thing, I guess. There's probably others, but that was pretty cool. And they were very cool people.
Price, because as high quality as they were, for a miniature gun, like usually you're starting at like $1,000 or $2,000 for anything that nice.
Well, let's wait until
they had walnut stocks.
Yeah.
Let's wait until we own them before we start telling them to jack their prices up.
They won't watch this.
Actually, that's the thing. So Ghost went over and was talking to her about, because right next door was Etched Ordnance, the guy that did our coins, our challenge coins for gun channels. He's here he's in Broken Arrow. So he's in Tulsa in Broken Arrow.
I think Coeta.
They get really picky about whether or not things are Tulsa over here. Yeah. So he's just here in the Tulsa area. And so he set up for the first time at this show, and he was literally right next door to him. So I guess Ghost was over there getting a mag etched. He does laser etching. So he was down a mag etched, and then he was talking to the lady. So he was talking to her, and I guess Mr. Wright came over and said something about the decks. So
he brought me over.
And then she came over, the lady that is in charge of she's a partner in this Canadian company with these miniature guns. She came over and Ghost brought her into a live chat over on Gun Channels, one of the lobby chats. So she's has experienced, so she may watch this.
Okay.
She has experienced a lobby chat and thought it was awesome. Actually, we had quite a bit of response from people at the show that knew what Gun Channels was and were happy to see somebody from Gun Channels there and featuring their stuff. So thanks again to Clover Tack for figuring out that there were media passes here, because we would have never had that opportunity to talk to everybody. And
that Joe Wanamaker was super cool about you guys.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's a dick to like newspapers and print media or even like television, but like you guys were like welcomed like you were the real media or something.
Seriously, we
awesome.
had keys to the show. It was a unique experience, and I've been doing these kind of things for a while. This was an awesome show, but the fact that these people knew what Gun Channels were and are eager to check it out. So even the guys from Instagram that had come by, we said, hey, are you on Gun Channels? And just people walking by. What is this? Oh, we had the Gun Channels cards out. It's like Facebook for guns. We chat. And so we're probably going to have a bunch of new people checking it out.
Well, that like having all you guys here this weekend was like Gun Channels times a million too.
Yeah.
Like, it was like
That was fun.
constant live chat.
Tell you, when we built the place, it was really just a place to get away from the anonymous bullshit that was happening on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'd never imagined it would turn into such an awesome experience. Like literally, it's just growing into a whole different thing. You could have never planned it. It's really coming out cool.
There were a lot of big G's on the back of cars here too.
After we went through the parking lot and applied them.
After we like stuck them on every car in the parking lot. People are gonna wonder what that is.
How are we doing on time?
Seriously, it's like 4 or 5 cars.
Yeah, well, you know what? That brings me to a point too. We're about quarter to the hour, and I was curious if you ever figured anything out on your route home.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So that's one of the things we talked about on Friday is I'm in Tulsa, and I knew I was going to be hanging out with Cycle Camp and P56 Nut today, and I rushed out here. I had to get out here. I had to leave and then get here pretty quick. So I didn't like the drive. It was not fun. So I'm going to take a couple of days to get back. And we talked about on Friday having a choose your own adventure type of situation here. So hopefully people have been thinking about that. We're looking for a route to get back. I've driven this route between Tulsa and Tucson. I don't even want to think about how many times, at least dozens and dozens of times. Feel like I've seen every single route. Only a few times though, with the goal of checking out gun shops. So we drove up here through Roswell. Okay.
If you go back to Oklahoma City at all, there's the Cowboy Hall of Fame.
I'm going there.
And like, if you think, oh, well, what could be there? It's interesting. Every cowboy gun you could ever imagine.
Oh no, I'm pissed that I forgot about it, or I didn't forget about it. I didn't stay for it.
And then there's guns scattered throughout this whole area that are like the guns of Hollywood. So there's like one of John Wayne's guns, one of like Audie Murphy's guns, like a whole bunch.
Do you know if it costs anything to go in it?
I think it's like $10.
Okay. So that's one of my plans. Is I know I missed that museum, and what else was there? Do something else. No, that was the thing in Oklahoma.
I need to see that 45th ID.
Dude, yeah, seriously, that is a very cool museum. Yeah, I used to think J.M. Davis was done, like it was the best museum, period. And then I experienced the 45th Infantry Division Museum, which is insane. And then Dragon Man. Dragon Man, hands down, wins. Dragon Man's awesome.
Dragon Man beats
everything.
Davis, really.
Everything. Dude, did you see the Dragon Man stuff?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I've heard he's the most
You're gonna drive.
man in America. Or
that's the part where everybody stops talking about it. He has He has a museum that would be every bit of this parking lot, that building, this whole parking lot,
so
and that
like
building.
J.M. Davis, but alive.
No. J.M. Davis bought guns.
Yeah.
Imagine like the best G.I. Joe set you've ever seen. Like some kid who's a rich kid and he's got all of your G.I. Joe, except that it's mannequins and it's legit. Except that it's his collections, right? So you walk in there and he's like, you ever seen 30 cases of live grenades? There they are. And he picks one up and goes, here, they still got the writing in them, right? He's like, he goes over to I was there with the Brazilian news crew because of the whole Vegas garbage. The Brazilians were interviewing him, and he did like the special tour of the museum for them, and I tagged along. He goes over to the Nazi memorabilia area, and he's like, that Zyklon gas, where the fuck it's called? He's like, I've got 26 cans of this. I don't usually pull these out, but look, it's still got this. If this thing opened, we'd all die. The fucking he's got 26 unopened containers of the poison gas. He's got an actual.
So how big is his stuff we got from dead Nazis? It's got to be pretty impressive.
It's bigger than this whole section of the parking lot, and he has one of those for every single campaign the United States has been in. So he has. It's basically like if you had a room, again, a museum the size of this whole parking lot in that building, probably plus some. I haven't been to the whole thing yet, and it's just like if you had it. It's not in a museum. It's just his stuff. So you just go up and pick it up. Everything in there is a live machine gun, live ammo. That diorama he has about World War II, it's like a bunker and like thing. He's got every stove. He's got the howitzer. And he's like, every single round in here is 1938 or whatever, 1948 or whatever. Like, it is authentic to shit. He can pick up anything and it's the authentic thing. And there's no glass, there's no nothing. It's just, you're in his private collection with the guy who collected it all, explaining everything. He's got every boot. He's got every single uniform from World War II. There's 1,200 mannequins or something it's insane.
You never saw like my stuff before I started selling it off, but I used to be like into that sort of stuff.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You are going to drive to Colorado Springs when you watch that video, dude. I'll show you some pictures. I'm sure I have them on the phone or something. It's insane. So yeah, hands down, Dragon Man. It's a private collection.
I'm just going to be poor and have a room like his, or actually be able to like afford stuff. So I just stopped buying that crap.
Okay, so we got off topic there, but yeah, so if people got ideas, I am planning on hitting the Cowboy Museum. So Oklahoma City is a given. I mean, it's towards Tucson, but I guess the question would be, do I go down 40, hit something off, I don't even know, those little towns probably maybe have a gun shop or something. They're more like
Stillwater would be pretty close to college town. I know there's a bunch of gun shops.
Stillwater, Oklahoma?
Yeah, it's north of Oklahoma City.
Yeah, see, that would give me the north though. So
yeah.
I'm not trying to spend money or time necessarily, but I'm looking for an alternative route. So I've taken the route down through the VLA and through like the White Mountains of Arizona. I guess we're thinking maybe Winslow and Flagstaff or something, maybe coming down through some other route through New Mexico if there's a range or something. So anybody that wants to do a little bit of homework, I don't know how far I'll get going west today, but we're making a bit of a choose your own adventure and be part of this. So we're trying to create new media here, which isn't sit down and watch somebody who prepared something for you, but let's use this internet. We were talking about internet this morning. Let's use this technology that we've got in new and creative ways and make some guy in a van and his dog drive someplace, figure out a cool place for us to go, be part of this whole Gun Show Loophole tour.
I'm trying to see when something's happening. There's like a Native American military society thing that happens in Anadarko, Oklahoma. That's awesome. They like have their battle tent that they've had since like.
So sort of like a rendezvous type of thing, except for the Indian point of view.
It's like it's a tribe. It's the Kiowa. Like it's their warrior society, and it's like they have a teepee that has like shit from like all their campaigns from like the 1800s through like today, like war in Iraq stuff. So there's like cool World War II stuff. There's guys there like holding a K-98 that they killed the Nazi who was holding it, sort of thing. Like I don't know when that's happening though. Oh, it happened last month.
Right on. Well, we'll add that to the calendar though. It's the whole point of this kind of stuff too, is to collect these kind of events and these happenings.
Yeah.
I haven't ever been to a rendezvous. You guys ever been to a rendezvous?
Yeah.
Right on. Is they as awesome as I imagine?
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of great demonstrations, hatchet throwing, archery, stuff like that. A lot of times there'll be non-Indian enactors, and they'll bring like locks and stuff, and that's always a lot of fun.
Oh,
dancing and drumming.
Oh, have you been to Bull Rock?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Wade Phillips Petroleum. His personal gun collection's there. And it's
Where's
awesome. It's just north of here. Like, we could do that today if you want.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like, it's, I don't want to name it time. It's like 30 minutes maybe north of here.
Right on.
But they have like live buffalo.
Now, if something happens that I have to stay in Tulsa next day and be able to go to Hugo's when it's open again tomorrow, I'm not going to complain when you get a plate of bacon.
I could shoot one of your tires when we get to the airport.
Let's not. No intentional stuff. In a good way, if I have to say.
Tires look kind of sketchy.
Yeah, he probably doesn't have a good spare.
I do actually. All right. Well, how are we doing on time? We must be cutting it close, and the airplane ain't going away.
5-2.
Okay. So, Bob, anything to add? Jimmy? No, it's kind of a.
It's close to Wednesday.
I got nothing today.
Back again. So.
Yeah. So we'll plan that for next time. They have a cool gun collection.
Right on. Keep in mind about places to go is you never know when there's like a VFW hall that has like just a massive memorial or something
or a tank sitting out in front of it.
Exactly, or just there's these unique things that are around. I've heard of art museums that'll have artistic guns in there and the decorative stuff or engravings or something. So
we have an art museum here, but there's never guns, sadly.
Well, I know that the Art Institute of Chicago, you wouldn't think, but they've got an interesting gun collection, I guess.
Artlesville?
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, we had kind of a sloppy show today and a little bit cut and short, but I appreciate everybody sticking with us on the non-regular nature of our show. But that's what we're trying to do here, is do new stuff. So, if you guys want to add anything else, otherwise I think we'll cut it. Make sure we're getting cycled. Or Daniel jumped in. Is there anything?
Yep, I jumped in to ask those of you guys that are down there in the parking lot. And I think you asked it yesterday. It's just I didn't catch your answers. What would you do differently? And if there's more than one thing, then what's the one thing? Whether it be how you got there, whether it be the museum, whether it be the show, whether it be something else. What are 1 or 2 or 3 things that you would do differently that you think would help?
Okay, so that'll be interesting because I'm here and I've gone a couple of times. Cycle's only been here the one time, and he's coming from the furthest, and then you live here. So let's start with you.
And by the way, I like the camera angle a lot better today than I did yesterday. Yeah, crotch shots.
Just be glad it's cold.
The museum, like I was trying to like sleep in and stuff before the show because I knew I was going to be like exhausted all weekend.
Walk in the museum for a day and then walk in the show for 2 days is tough.
So then like going to meet you at 9 o'clock in the morning, like the day before the show, I'm like, oh God, why would I do that?
Seriously.
And you guys were all gung ho about it. I'm like, you don't even like.
Well, these guys, I'm used to shot now. I mean, I go for 6 days of walking how many miles each day. So, but yeah, it's definitely physically takes a toll. You don't realize. I've walked, I think, 6 miles the first day and maybe 5 the next day, and you don't realize it because you're constantly interested in, like you said, you're interested in what your eyes are looking at. Your feet are barking, but big deal. You're looking at guns.
Well, that, like, if you're like sitting behind a table, it's a lot of up, down, chair, and it's like doing squats all day long.
Yeah, and just standing there. Holy moly. The best thing you can do if you're setting up at a show is to buy those like foam puzzle piece looking things that you put down in like a shop or like a nursery. There's sometimes the kids ones are cheaper. And yeah, those things make it a million times nicer to stand at a shop or a show. So
other than that, like,
so pacing out like what we do.
Hotel choice, maybe if we could like pick one hotel.
No, what we're houses. We're going to houses so that we have a living room and a den or something to hang out. Because we were hanging out at the restaurants each night, and everybody's got to go in separate directions. It happens every time, and then you never know when to stop. And then what's the first thing? Everybody gets to the hotel. You do your thing, and then you turn on the computer and you go into a lobby. Everybody does it. So I think having a house is going to be golden.
I think that would have been the biggest difference would be too. I'd like to get here earlier to do some of the other stuff. If you did the museum first, and then you did the range day, and then you give you a little downtime for the legs.
Exactly.
But I think the biggest thing was finding out that when these guys are all here in person, it's worse than a lobby chat because they just do not want to shut up. They do not want to go to bed. And you could tell people are struggling. They're barely able to keep their eyes open, but they just stay with it. So
it's
it'd be great if.
You know what it is? It's like having a family reunion, but you don't all hate each other.
Right.
You don't have to be there.
It's like family, but we like each other. Or pick a hotel with a good lobby with like, I'd say, but like a bar with like a lounge or whatever, where they have couches and they want people to hang out.
Yeah.
Not one where it's like there's 2 chairs and they stare.
Well, some of the business ones, they'll have like a conference room. When we were out here with Foose the first time, our hotel had a little business room and center or whatever, and we hung out in there like all night. They didn't care. And we were in like a glass little area. We had access to the bathrooms and go outside and smoke anytime we wanted or whatever. And I imagine if we needed food, you could have it delivered or something. And, even if we were in one hotel and had that conference room, I guess. But I just like the idea of a house because it saves a little bit of money. If there's enough people, it's actually cheaper than a hotel.
We're like renovating some stuff and like rebuilding a deck right now. But like, I don't know if that's going to be like 6 months. Or
so
like
you're saying
year.
You're saying in April we'll be staying at your place?
No, but
that's what I heard.
Possibly, like in the next 6 months to a year, we might be able to do something at my place. I don't know.
That'd be great.
Now, last year we were fortunate with P226 Nut arranging a range day.
Yeah.
And that really added a whole lot to the experience because then we had the trifecta, basically, as far as I was concerned. We had that, we had the museum, and then, of course, Wanamaker. And do you remember, did we do that on Thursday last year?
I think you guys did shoot museum.
Yeah,
you did shoot museum and then show.
Yeah. I didn't go to the museum because I was setting up. But
I think that's the way to do it, though. Is museum, shoot, and then show.
Yeah.
And then would you say I think it's better leaving on Monday if you can, right?
To
gotta be
I
easier.
thought so.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd have had to like
If we're
rush
gonna
home,
do
get all your
the-
stuff, and then deal with all the effort of getting
If
home.
we're gonna do the shoot, and I'm gonna get us into that range and all that, it would have to be Thursday. Like Friday, it's with the show starting and all that. I'm just super busy.
Yeah. Well, we could even go to a place like this place, and
Yeah.
you know, it's just open, and just all be together and bring whatever guns we're bringing and shoot them and pull triggers and bullshit. Yeah.
The only thing is, like, it's $25 laying here.
Well,
versus
that's the
free at
thing.
other place.
Sometimes if you can say with enough ahead of time, we're going to have 12 people come in, you know, just like there's a bachelor party or birthday party, they might give you a rate.
Yeah, maybe get your rate.
Yeah. Or some your own range. A lot of these places have
I think
the
it cost us
VIP.
$10 at the other range last time.
Yeah. I think one of the things I would do differently with this, with any time there's a group of people that are getting together, is figure out the food ahead of time. And at least, like we were saying, like Mexican and then Italian and then subs or something, so that we have at least a general idea, so that you spend so much time farting around like, I don't care. And then you get to the place and nobody's happy.
What do you want to eat?
Clover tack, because every place you go has good food, but it's tiny.
Yeah.
And we have like a large group. I'm like,
So Dano,
the
you
Italian place was good once it emptied out.
Dano, how are you going to answer that question, having been here?
I would put, and of course, it probably is not available, but I would put some effort into seeing if I could find out any sort of floor layout of just the tables.
Oh,
So I could go back. If I find table number 128B has this cool little thing, and I think, well, I don't want to spend all my money yet. I'll come back tomorrow if I got some money left over. And then tomorrow comes, and I can't freaking find the thing, which is what happened with Mr. Wright when he screwed me out of a whole bunch of aluminum GI mags.
That
You
would be
can't-
GPS on your phone, Dano.
buy any GI mags if Mr. Wright's in the show, number one. But
Oh yeah,
here's what we found out on Sunday as we were leaving. There's this little magazine, and if you look at it, it's a bunch of ads and stuff, but it's the index. It's what you're talking about. It's a floor plan with the same
Yes.
thing we get at show.
Where'd you get that?
It's a little magazine by the concession stands
I've
that
never
everybody
seen
just
that.
If
ignores.
you came in as a real person,
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be the first thing they'd hand you. Yeah.
They assume the exhibitors know what they're doing.
I've never
So
seen
we've
that.
already
You could
solved
just
that
rip-
one for you,
could rip
Dano.
out the layout page,
okay.
and when you're there, say circle your desk for me, and you could write next to it magazines or whatever.
Exactly. Or have your little
I used
notepad.
The pillars, because the pillars all had
numbers.
numbers,
Yeah.
so I knew
Right.
it was in aisle next to 39.
That's handy for like coming back to stuff.
Yes, that made life
Yes.
a lot easier.
And Bob, you've
Yeah.
been here, so how would you answer that question?
For being
Walk faster. I feel like no matter how fast I went, I couldn't see everything, and yeah, there was stuff I missed. That yeah.
But what I noticed is that
Both
when you
ways,
try
right?
to go faster, you start missing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of tables may only have 2 or 3 of some little thing, but they got a whole bunch of something else. And if you try to walk faster, you're not going to be able to see it.
And there's times that you just can't walk fast. It's elbow to elbow. Everybody's
Yeah.
crowding around, and you're sitting kind of in traffic for a bit.
Yep.
never been a foot traffic jam other than one to make there. So
It was actually less. I
Just like
think.
Disney.
I think the what do you call the
It was a lot like
attendees?
Yeah.
I think the attendees were less this time
Yeah.
than the other show I experienced.
Well, like the last few times, it's been like Obama was president. And
That's
things were
true.
Going crazy and
Who was
And
the
then,
speaker?
There was none this time.
Okay.
Did you
Was
see
the
anything about
speaker spring?
oh, like special speaker, special guest, or anything?
No, but there were. I mean, they had the great displays, but
Yeah.
I mean,
This
last year,
they have, that they didn't have before is the NRA does a traveling museum, I guess, and they encourage like these people to bring their like massive collections
they
as
do that every year,
displays.
but it changes.
Right, they do it once a year, but they
That's
change which
every
gun
6
show
months.
it's at. And no, they said they do it once a year.
Okay.
And then
We're talking
so the whole bottom, like the bottom towards the east end, was normally not even used, and this year it was a bunch of really interesting booths with like high powers and whatnot. And I think that might have been why they didn't bother with a speaker, because they kind of had a special event happening.
I didn't see that. I guess that's different than what I'm talking about. There's usually like a museum display on the west end of the lower level.
Yeah, no, that was there. That was the
Yeah,
Rugers this
yeah.
year. But on the
that
opposite side,
changes.
that was like a new thing. I guess
Usually
it
that's
comes
like an
around.
area to eat, and there's a speaker there.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I think at this point we're definitely crouching into the travel time. So let's do whatever we're going to do.
All right. Well, if you guys, if we're all done, I can end it with a quote as usual.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Oh,
So-
why don't we do a quick tactical pop quiz? The first person on Gun Channels to correctly ID everybody who showed up from Gun Channels wins something.
Can't do that. I was here.
So I guess you guys are going to have to watch the chats for us. Or maybe you got the Gun Channels or YouTube on?
I'm over there. I got the gun channel.
Okay.
I completely forgot about
So there was 1, 2, 3, 7 of us?
Yeah, at least.
7. There should be at
But
least
there
7
were-
to have the correct answer.
No, there were 8.
8 of us to have the
Yeah.
correct answer.
That's the one kid who didn't like.
No, no.
You
Yeah,
got
he's him.
Raphael.
you got Angry said Ghost, P226, Cycle, Raph, G, Foos. Even he spelled Foos wrong, so I don't know if we should count that.
He's missing somebody.
There's Bruce Raphael, maybe.
Yeah, he did. Nope, he's missing one person. Yep.
He's missing somebody.
Oh.
Kind of hard to forget who we're missing there.
Yeah. One guy. I think Night Strike almost got it. Clover Tag, Ghost, P226, Raph, G, Cycle, and Foos.
Boom, he got it. That's
All right.
everybody. No, missed one.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So Night Strike's almost there, missing one.
Oh wait, Night Strike got it now. He added it in, Mr. Right.
Okay. All right, Night Strike gets it. Right on. So we had our tactical pop quiz. Quota filled.
Very random.
Night Strike. Congratulations. I guess that makes you the tactical hot shot of the day.
And Bob thought he was going to get out of saying that today.
Oh, I was hoping.
Bob loves saying that.
I don't really.
Here without doing it.
Yeah, it's hard in the voice. I don't know how.
I think we've had enough wine for today.
Yeah, whatever. I'll give you some cheese with that. All right, well, let's end this with our quote as we always do. Anyway, before that, I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. And if you can like, share, subscribe, give us a thumbs up if you want. Support us on Patreon. The link will be in the show description. So this quote today is by Thomas Jefferson. I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. There you go. Nice words. Thanks, everybody. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching gunwebsites.com.